Like Sean said, my name is Gabriel Bruce, and I'm in marketing for GAPS. If you don't know by now, I'm blind, so if I look at you, I'm imagining in my mind how good you look. I tell my daughters all the time I'm Tom Brady handsome, so it lets them get and we see him, I point him out and I said, "Oh, that looks just like your dad." But 36 years old, I became blind when I was 11 years old due to glaucoma, retinal detachments from eye pressure. I learned mobility skills from the Georgia Academy for the Blind, and I went to high school. And I learned in high school that, I should have learned in high school that sales was going to be in my future, because I sold an 18-year-old girl to marry me in high school. And I told her that a blind man would take her to see the world. So that should have let me know then that I had a future and a career in marketing and sales, because I've been married for 17 years.
Good for you.
I have 3 kids, 2 daughters and 1 son. So if you see the gray in my hair, that's what that is. I became an employee at New Ventures in 2003 after just sitting at home with nothing to do. One day I looked at my wife, she looked at me, and we decided that one of us had to leave the house on a daily basis. And you saw who lost that fight. I had no work skills, no training. I was just raw. Through the efforts of New Ventures, the CRP that I am employed by, I began to work and become accountable as a citizen. I remember growing up that I was always told that my life was just going to be dark. My parents at that time didn't know that it was a future for disabled people based on the city that I was in. We didn't know about New Ventures. So after high school and luckily getting married, I just sat there with nothing to do. So when I became an employee, I learned how to be accountable. I learned how to produce. I learned how to be productive. I learned how to be a normal citizen. Through this GAPS program, which I started 2 years and started working in 2 years ago in marketing and sales, working with Sean. So if I talk like him, that's because of the constant conversations we have on a weekly basis. And this program has helped me tremendously. I saw things through my own eyes that I never seen before and never dreamed that I would see. Last year, around this time, I got to fly on an airplane because of this program. And as I sat in that airplane, on that seat, and I began to buckle myself in, I closed my eyes for a moment, and I thought about my mother, who had passed on. And I said to myself, if she could see me now. The son that she had left behind, who was doing nothing, now flying to conferences, to a Gojo conference to represent my state youth program. And as I began to travel and go out to these colleges, I think about how I would never get to work for Mark Richt or be a running back, but I know that one day he'll stick his hand on the soap dispenser that I have sold the University of Georgia, or when I'm in Kennesaw, or when I'm in North Georgia, or when I'm at Georgia Tech. All those places, I know that my dreams of being there as a student, but I know that I could go home and tell my kids that I've been to these places as a GAPS employee. And that makes me proud of the program, not only for me, but for other individuals with disabilities. That we have a future now because of this program. I never knew in 1993 that in 2003 that this program that was established would be the springboard to take a young man to be able to provide for his wife, his 3 kids, to be a taxpayer, to be accountable, to be a person, a whole person, not just seen as a person with a disability, but seen as a person who can contribute to a world that has a need for products, toners, floor pads, gloves, wiping rags. It's a whole when I call the state, it's amazing how the usage of those products, and I may have forgot some drug test kit, that it is out there that people consume on a daily basis. And I ask them that if you support this program, if you support me, if you buy into this program, not only are you buying those products at a good quality that are being produced by workers with disability, but you buy into workers with disabilities for training, who had never had training, who had never been employed, who now has an opportunity to be a productive citizen based on the fact that you as a consumer took time and your heart out to support a program that was established to help us, workers with disabilities, be accountable, be citizens in this society. So as I look back at the efforts that the council and others have made through the years and the strides that have been made, and I know that it's tremendous things to come in the future. As I call on the state, I didn't know that it's a real big state out here. But I was just so used to my corner, my side. And I know now that it's a whole big state out there to call on, to ask to just tie in to this program. So as you make decisions going forth, as you look out, just take your time and close your eyes and think about somebody like me, who had to go home and cook and clean, and I don't get by with that. My wife, she make me take out the trash. She don't let me buy nothing. My wife was developed multiple sclerosis in 2009, and when she did that, thanks for that training, that enabled me to just step right in, because I was able to be that parent. My kids think I'm the best cook because it tastes like McDonald's and Chick-fil-A and Burger King and Domino's. So if you ask them, their dad is the best cook in the world. But if I never had this program, I would never have the confidence to be able to go out and shop. And the first time I shopped for my wife, and I found out that I was a better shopper than her. And ever since then, now I've been doing all the shopping. Yeah, so some things we just had to let slide by. But I'm thankful for this program. I'm thankful for the council. I'm thankful for all y'all who taking your time out and taking the effort to just look back and just take a moment. They call this a mission moment, but just let's take a reality moment and know that we all are a moment away from being or being at a point where we may have a disability, or may have a problem, or may have an issue. I remember when I first made mine, Sean probably giving me the time sign right about now. I remember when I first did a speech, it was coming off of the Boston Marathon. And I watched how a couple had got married. And on their honeymoon, they ran a marathon. And the bombing happened, and they got a disability. They woke up a married couple. And they went to bed that night disabled. So, not only me, it could happen to anybody, but we don't accept disability as any excuse anymore. Because of this program and efforts that are made, and the training that are made throughout with the CRP help and the help of this council, we can be productive citizens in this world. And we can be proud parents. I can send my kids to college. I can buy my wife all the nice things she would need. Hint, hint, raise. So, I thank y'all. Have a nice day. God bless you.
Thanks, Bruce.